Good afternoon, good evening, good morning for some people. We are back live on the Higher Military's channel. I'm Matt Quick from the DNPP, and this is my guest today, Veronica. Um, Listen, she goes by Vero. I'm going to say Vero because I can't roll my R's, but the reason we brought her on today because she actually aced the CDNP certified professional trainer test. She aced a test. She beat my score. So I want to bring her on today and showcase her for everybody that this person right here, Vero, beat my score in the test. So welcome to the show, and tell us about yourself.
Oh, thanks for that intro. And I'm happy to share the score with you since you were my coach. But yes, my name is Vero, if you can roll your R's, or Vero, if you cannot. I am a linguist, military spouse, and Crohn's advocate. I was a French and English teacher back in Puerto Rico for 6 years. Then I was a military spouse, volunteering here and there, working with side hustles, trying to figure out what my new options were. And now, thanks to this program and LinkedIn, I am doing my own thing, working as a multilingual private tutor in English, Spanish, and French.
So I've almost mastered the English language, almost. So you're mastering all those other languages. So before we got on the show, she was saying that she's a little nervous being on the show. And then she's a multilingual speech person. I'm like, I'm nervous now. So really, and we talked before the show started, and Vero, she has been networking for years, and she has some good examples. If she forgets them, I've got some notes, so I'll prep her up here. But first of all, what brought you to LinkedIn in the first place, and what do you know now about LinkedIn from going through the training?
Originally, it was thanks to Michael Catania back in Hawaii, who did
Shout out.
Yeah, he did a personal self-branding workshop through LinkedIn at ACS. If you're unfamiliar with that, it's Army Community Services. Portuguese. I don't know Portuguese, but I do know Italian. And I had originally gone to that workshop because I had gone through everything else. I went through SECO, MSEP. I did military spouse workshops, symposiums. I went to job fairs, career expos. And with my set of skills in particular, there was nothing out there for me except an FBI language analyst position that only hires locally, not remotely. And I thought, all right, why not just go out on my own and try that? He really gave me the foundation to start on LinkedIn, but because it was only a one-day thing, I didn't have all the tools and all the knowledge I needed to really take advantage of and leverage LinkedIn. So when I found the DNPP through USO, I thought, yes, this is exactly what I needed because it can be so intimidating. We are so used to Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and every other social media platform just for fun and entertainment. But when it gets professional, you might feel that you have nothing to contribute or it's too serious and you just want to be silly. So it's not for you. And right now I know, okay, I don't need to do professional content all the time. I don't have to do what I think I have to. This is kind of let's call it a template of how to engage on LinkedIn. I say that's what I got the most out of.
And that's important because you mentioned that LinkedIn was intimidating. And it really is for some people because they spent years on Facebook and Twitter just having fun. And this isn't a suit and tie environment. LinkedIn, I share content and we all share content about what we do on a daily basis. Listen, if you're a military transitioner, you share that. But really you want to share what you've done, share your experiences. I share lots of different things and some people are like, that's too much to share. But I want people to know who I am. Because in my mind, in there, it's how you build trust with people. So for you, I think you've been networking before, and I was a little jealous when I heard about the Hawaii assignment. I spent 1 week in Hawaii. I loved it. I'll never get assigned there because I'm retired now from the military, but definitely jealous of that. So when it came to the DNPP or CDNP course, there's two training options. One is the asynchronous, which is self-paced, and one's the synchronous, which is the coach-led. You chose which one and why?
I chose self-paced because as someone who was going out on her own, I was already working on quite a few projects. And I thought I cannot abide by this other schedule, or the times don't match. We are also all in different time zones, which I definitely experienced when we were in Hawaii. So self-paced was just something more comfortable for me. And when I saw the option was available, I immediately jumped on that. And it was good. And you were still available to answer my questions. So I never felt like I was doing something on my own.
So I will take complete credit for being your coach. So I did coach the one person that aced the exam. So that's on me. I appreciate that. No, but we do have an asynchronous model, and we get about 25% of our people choose the asynchronous. But some of those people do say, hey, coaches, can I have some more of your time? So we're seeing when you have the workbook, when you have to do things from the workbook, to post, to engage, to build your profile, that's what it's all about. So the coach-led is great. Asynchronous is also a good option. So what the course teaches you, and you'll go over this right here, is you create your professional online profile. That's what you create that. And then you learn to build the right network for you. That's key, because you can have 30,000 followers or 100,000 followers, but we focus on building the right network for you, whatever it is. If you're going to San Antonio, if you're going to HR, if you're going to Seattle, wherever you're going, we want you to have the right network for you. And then how to engage, because we take introverts, people that don't like posting on social media or are used to posting on social media for Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat, Instagram. We take them and we teach them how, not just how to post, but why to post in that way, how to engage people. And the fourth module is really the LinkedIn's tools, the jobs platform tools, interview prep. That's a big one right here. Salary analysis, resume builder, which in my opinion may be the resume of choice in the next 5 years. Don't quote me on that, but that may be what it is. So out of all those 5 modules or part of your training, what was your favorite part of the CDNP training and why?
By far, it was the engagement part. And not because I'm an introvert. I was a teacher for 6 years. I went to trainings in many different states and in different languages. I could stand up in front of people and give classes just pulled out of my sleeve. But again, the intimidating part of being on this platform, thinking it has to be a certain way, or I have to say a certain thing or appear a certain manner. I thought, I don't know how to do this, or that I can. And the program, at least the workbook that I had, was giving me those ideas. It was telling me, this is what you're doing it for, the purpose, and just pushing me gently to go out there and reach out to certain people and say, hey, I'm interested in what you're doing. Could I get a little information? Those informational interviews, those are fantastic. And it's just the nudge that I needed. That was by far my favorite part.
And the information interviews, they force you to reach out to people that you wouldn't normally reach out to. They can be vice presidents of companies, directors of companies, peers, veterans in organizations. So many people, but we don't make you. We highly encourage you do the workbook, and we check on too. So we check on your workbook, make sure it's done, make sure you're progressing the way you should be. But this is why the course exists, for just people to learn the platform, understand why it exists. And we don't want people, listen, I don't wear ties. My profile photo is a jacket, shirt, and no tie. I won't wear a tie. It's not who I am. I choose to be authentic, and that's what we preach people. If you can be authentic, if you can show the authentic you on LinkedIn or any kind of social media platform, people will know you and trust you faster. If you try to be somebody else, you got to remember what that is constantly. And that's I can't put enough things in my head right now from those things. I don't want to think about who I should be. I want to show people who I am. So that's what it really comes down to is. And so you've been networking for years, right?
Without knowing that I was, yes.
Without knowing. Can you share a story about how you network, maybe from a college to professional life?
I guess my first experience was going back to where I had learned French so I could teach there after I had learned it. And I started out as a volunteer because they didn't have any positions open. So I just got myself there, got my own foot into the door, and they accepted me. And from there, because of my work ethic and all the work I had done, they recommended me to a private school where I worked for a year before I married my spouse. Then I was unemployed during the military spouse transition and everything. But when I talked to some other people during my trainings at my old jobs, they remembered me and reached out to me years later saying, I remember you working with kids and knowing different languages. Do you still do these things? And I offered me an interview, which I passed. So I got a contract here. Then I saw on LinkedIn that a friend of mine from college was on here as well. And I asked him for help with something. And he said, I see you're very interested in this kind of thing. I actually work more during this. Would you be interested? Offered me an interview, and really was just talking to people I had already met, but I didn't know they had something to offer. So that was the networking part that came naturally, but I didn't think of it as networking. I thought of it as talking to people.
That's all networking really is. It's having the conversation. Just last week, I reached out to the Fort Bragg TAP program manager. I'm not sure what the exact name is, but the program manager. I reached out to her. I said, can we have a conversation? Because I love coming to face-to-face networking events. So she says, hey, come on down. Let's talk for 20, 30 minutes. We had a great conversation. And now she invited me to come in and talk to her counselors to really share my story of military transition, life, and the TAP process, so they can get an idea of what it's really like, because some don't go through it. This is how you build a brand, or you meet new people. And to me, it's so genuine because you're not trying to be somebody else. That's why authenticity is so important. And before we take questions from the audience, because I know there's a lot of questions here, because again, we're on here with Veronica, and she aced the CDNP training and the exam. So because of that, so if you want to ask any questions, please ask the questions. We'll address that. But I have one more networking thing to share with you, and she can go on with this. But because Veronica passed or aced the exam, I thought to myself, why shouldn't we ask her to be a coach? Because she knows the material. She teaches kids right now. So I reached out to her, said, hey, Veronica, I know this may be a long shot, but would you consider one day being a certified digital networking coach? And she homed and hummed about it for a little bit. But I reached out to her because it's naive to think that we shouldn't surround ourselves with the best people to teach these classes, to coach these classes. So hopefully one day, and she has the material now. How is the coaching training going for you, Veronica? I didn't want to put the cat out of the bag, but I'm excited about this.
Actually, exciting. It is exciting. I have now the other side of what I already experienced, and I have all these class ideas going through my head as I'm reading it, as I'm going through it. I've already talked to a few people saying, hey, I'm in training for this and I need somebody to teach. And so many people have already said, me, because I don't know about LinkedIn, which confirms that this is a difficult platform for many people. And I'm just happy to be able to share something that worked for me as well. Excited is the word for sure.
So after this broadcast over, I will edit the post to make sure Veronica's name is linked in here. Please reach out to her. She has to get 25 hours of coaching LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. So if you need coaching, and these could be 15-minute, these could be half-hour sessions, don't overwhelm her. 25 hours over a couple months. She needs this to go through the certification for coaching LinkedIn. So definitely reach out to her with a note. Say, hey, Veronica, I need help with LinkedIn. I don't understand it. She will offer assistance for you. So don't be afraid of that. So ask your questions, reach out to Veronica, and let's make her a coach one day. Because as you all can see, she's a fantastic speaker. She's a linguist, and really, I'm curious to know how she's going to teach this in other languages. I may drop into classes
in Spanish, but I don't know. I'm going to need a little help in French, but I already have the network to help me out with that, so I'm not concerned about it.
That's awesome, and we have other coaches. We have Jose Velasquez, Jamie Chapman. We have Eric Horton, and And when I see the classes in progress now, like Jamie Chapman, she has the best slides ever, way better than mine. And her class is phenomenal. She just finished her first class and she loved it. And just so you know, her student actually passed the training and passed the exam. Didn't ace it like I had you ace it, but we can't all be the best coaches. So there is that. So as we wait for some comments to roll in, questions to roll in, here's the question for you. And this may be one of the biggest questions. Would you recommend this training to others and why?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I don't think I've stopped talking about it since I got my certification and since I got my profile working for me, because it was 6 years of going through resume applications and job searching and creating accounts on USA Jobs. I'm not speaking ill of anybody. I'm just saying it didn't work for me. But USA Jobs, Indeed, Monster, and everything you can think of, I went through it. And again, because my skill set is a little out of the norm, especially in the military spouse realm, this is what worked for me, and I cannot stop talking about it. And people who say, I can't find something, go for LinkedIn. See if it's there. And can I share an interesting experiment
that I just did with my friend? I'll just sit back.
She's visiting here for a week. And she was telling me about her transitioning experience now that I understand it more, thanks to you and Michael and everybody who's already gone through it. And she told me I had to go straight to the company I wanted to work for and look for job openings they had, because I looked online and there were no search results for the specific words that she typed in. We did Boolean searches, which is using the quotations around the words. We did generic searches. We altered the words as well, and it would almost show up under other terms that don't really apply to what she was looking for, but it was hard to find. All I did was type in her job title on LinkedIn, and a slew of options showed up. The company is there. And she said, this would have been so much easier when I was transitioning. I said, I'm so sorry, I just found this now.
But now you're certified, now you can teach this. So again, those that are watching, those who will watch later on, reach out to Veronica. She's offering free of charge 15 or 30-minute one-on-one sessions with you to coach you through how to use LinkedIn, how to create a professional profile, how to build the right network for you, how to engage and why engage a certain way on your network. Because you can have, again, 30,000 followers, but if you don't say anything, do you really have an active following on LinkedIn? And one of the things she will teach you also, if you get an opportunity to speak with her, is the job platform tools. The salary analysis, the resume builder. Again, these are great and phenomenal tools. So with that being said, if you want to sign up, here's the link right here. It's scrolling at the bottom, but here's right here. If you're in the military, if you're transitioning, if you're in the military, whether you're transitioning or not, if you're in the military service is funding this training. Get on the website, apply. Ed Orsted, He works with DNPP. He will send you the information. He will send you the required quote for Army Ignited, Air Force Cool, Navy Cool. He'll send you the information and the process to get it approved. Reach out to us. Send us an email, admin@digitalnetworkingprofessionalprogram.com or send me a message. It's much easier, right? I'll get a better email address soon, but send me a message. Go to the website here. Go to the bottom. That's how you send us a note. But we're waiting for you. We have a lot of people going through training now, and we don't want to overload Jose, Eric, and Jamie. That's why I reach out to Veronica and say, hey, would you mind being a coach with us? So she's agreed, and it's going to take you to reach out to her to get the coaching up. So give her an opportunity. What are some final words you have for the broadcast today, Veronica, about networking?
Engage on LinkedIn as if you were at a party, but keep it professional. Because really that's the intimidating part. It's thinking that it has to be a certain job conversation when really you're getting to know somebody and they're getting to know you, as you mentioned, the authentic you, which I personally experienced in my previous job experience where I was trying to be this teacher image, when in reality, I could have just been me the entire time, so much simpler. And making that great impression, you're just going to find the people who really want to be with you and work with someone like you. So that's also important. And just make it casual.
That's what it is. And so we were kind of nervous coming on tonight and being on this huge platform, but we had a conversation, we calmed each other down, now we're having fun. Here's a question from Scott Crawford. What is the best networking group for retired military personnel who are looking into job opportunities? So, Scott, LinkedIn. Reach out, follow me, follow Michael Quinn. There's a whole host of people. We put out information every single day. Go back and listen. If I can show my screen, I would right now. Go to our profiles, go to the activity, go to our past posts. You'll see a ton of information, and there's groups on LinkedIn that will help you out. So military retiree groups, military transition groups. Join those groups. Get involved in the conversation. Ask the question. If you ask the question, I guarantee you will get 20 responses. They're not all great, but most of them are, though. That's what I like about this. So let's look at some more questions here. Hopefully I answered it.
Could I answer? Could I add
Of course,
something?
yes.
I would also suggest talking to the people who commented on certain posts that have to do with retired military or transitioning military, because that means they're on the same boat. So you just connect with them and say, hey, we have similar experiences. Would you want to exchange, or I'd love to exchange or get some insights?
That's a great point. And when it comes to posting on LinkedIn, people ask, what should I post? And some more things is, Veronica, so answer, what do you post on LinkedIn and why?
Well, you actually talked about this a little earlier where you were saying that it's all about your content, but it doesn't have to be always a professional or related to work. And getting people to know you. If you go through my posts, especially a little earlier, you'll find, since I said I'm a Crohn's advocate, that I also post pictures of me getting my infusions or getting biopsies at the doctor. And that has nothing to do with teaching, but it does have to do with who I am and my work ethic. So I share encouraging posts saying, hey, we're all going through something, but we also have this to fall back on, or we still focus on this, or this is how I work despite that. And you can make it personal. There are so many people also posting. I love Al Balami's post, another shout out here. He posts things about his sons and baseball, and he brings it back to what he's doing in data analytics. Or did I say data? Is it data or data? He's going to be
data. He'll be fine. Just simplify. He's fine.
But he always brings it back to what he's doing with his transition and how he's doing everything he's doing for his family. So it can be personal, but related to work. It doesn't have to be something created that's going to highlight exactly what you do in your work life. But
and don't
it's
worry,
a little less stress than that.
And don't worry about going viral. Mm-hmm. People worry so much about numbers, reactions, comments. Look at the views of your posts. So when you post, and don't get overwhelmed with posting on LinkedIn initially. You'll get to a place where you want to post more often, but initially don't get overwhelmed. But look at the post views. If your connections go up, and then your views go up, you're trending in the right direction. Don't get discouraged. Even post a poll one day. I posted a poll last Saturday. To me, it was a throwaway post. It meant something to me, but it's a poll that I posted. It had 50,000 views. To me, and people say don't post on the weekends because there's no engagement. I get the highest engagement on the weekends. So there's a theory that's busted right there. But listen, I see Deborah already wants to be coached by you, so you may have somebody pretty soon, Veronica. So you're already getting a fan club here. So come take my job, do what you got to do, all right, and have fun with this. And when you coach, if you go away and you transition from different locations in the military as a military spouse, this job is transferable. Mm-hmm. It's a good thing about it.
That's a really big point. Yeah.
It is. So, hey, do you have any final thoughts? Any more final thoughts? I know that you had it already, but anything else to say? Because we're going to close this down. That was 25 minutes already. We had a great time. So what are some encouraging words you'd like to share with the audience today?
Just post. Don't overthink it. share what you want to share about your life and how it relates to what you want to do or are already doing, and see where that takes you.
I like that. Just post it, like Nike. Just post it.
I'm not impeding on their brand or something. No.
No, but we know it's a good brand though. So hey, just post. Just get on there and post. Have fun. But I will leave you with this. After the military, when I transitioned, I had 3 jobs. 2 of the same company, but 3 overall jobs. I never got a job by posting a resume. My opportunities came from networking. Networking works. This is why the DNPP was created. This is why the CDNP was created. If you're in the military now, take the course. It's funded by the military for you at no cost to you. Plus, you get a resume at the end. So there's a debate. What's more important, a resume or networking? We solve that for you. Sign up below, get both at no cost to you. Military spouses, we're still working with MyCAA to get approved for that. We're working with college or university. We're working with people to get funding alternatives. We're working with it. But it takes a process, so trust us. Keep tuned in. Connect with Veronica, and let's talk soon, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, until next time, we'll see you soon, all right, everybody? Take care.
Bye.